In this video, I'm going to see if I can paint a Mini in half an hour. Coming up after this. What is up, guys and girls? Welcome back to Burn Aquila Painting, and to all you new subs, welcome. Grab a cold one. Leave a little hello in the comments. My name is Graham, and today we're speed painting. So I admit it, it's been weighing on my mind. I need to let it go. I need to come clean. I am a slow painter. I know, it's a terrible affliction. I deal with it every day. So I thought the other day, hey, I know, I'll put myself in a really super stressful situation, try and paint a Mini in just half an hour. What a great idea. Not. I got rescued 10 poxwalkers from eBay that I'm not sure what to do with for my Death Guard army. And I thought, hey, they're perfect for this video. They're small, so it won't take much time to paint, but they're also pretty detailed, loads of character, which might make it a little bit more difficult, but anyway. And who doesn't need more chaff for Nurgle's garden? I've seen some awesome videos on YouTube recently about speed painting. Miniac's got some really good ones, and some more about keeping the detail while speed painting as well. MidWinter Minis has got loads of speed painting videos as well, so go check those guys out. I'll put links in the description to the videos. What I've noticed in these videos is the benchmark is around half an hour per Mini. So that's what I am aiming for. Now, I have to say before we get started, I have textured the bases, assembled the Minis, and primed them months ago when I actually got them. Also, I'm not including painting the rims of the bases in the allotted time. But why you no including the rims, Graham? Because painting the rims should be bleeding obvious. I'm only looking to see if I can paint the miniatures to a good tabletop standard in the allotted time. Can I paint a miniature in just half an hour? Let's find out. So I have 10 miniatures, 10 poxwalkers. So that's 30 minutes per Mini, which equates to 5 hours. So I have 5 hours to paint 10 Minis. When you say it like that, it seems like a lot of time, but when you break it down to what actually needs to be done, there's not much time at all. Base coats, for example, wood, metal, all the cloths, and things like cloths and metal, I didn't want them all to be the same colour. I didn't want them to look all the same. I wanted that ramshackled look that poxwalkers in my mind should have. As a slow painter, I knew off the bat that this was going to be really difficult for me to achieve. I did try and keep the paints I was using down to a minimum. I wanted to plan out each step before and estimate how long it would take me to paint each section, speeding up the process. That didn't strictly happen. Speed painting is not a skill that I have or know well, say like my basing and weathering videos. This is completely unexplored territory for me, and it completely threw me. I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous and I got really anxious about filming something that I'm not 100% confident in. It might sound silly to you guys, but it took a lot for me to break through that wall and to crack on. I couldn't focus on the planning stages, drawing a blank on what I was going to do on each section. I sat there at one point with a paintbrush in one hand and a Mini in the other, almost paralyzed to be able to start that start button for the countdown 5 hours on my phone. I actually got so in my own head about it that I was physically shaking when I started. It didn't help the fact that I knew if I didn't have everything sorted at arm's reach, I wouldn't be able to finish these in my allotted time, my 30-minute timer. So I got all of my paints, all my brushes and tools I was going to use for the project on my desk. Now, if you're using an airbrush, you would check it before using it, right? PSI, making sure it's clean enough. Well, I didn't, because I'm an idiot. I didn't check if it was running properly, I didn't check the PSI, which wasn't correct, and it doesn't help that I didn't even thin my paints enough. Thin your paints! And I had some dried paint on the nib, so it wasn't shooting properly at all. My guess is if I had my head on straight and I was calm about it, I would have fixed these problems before they even would have started, before I hit the timer. Just goes to show, having a plan, everything prepped and ready before you start your project is well worth it, and double check everything, especially when you're working with a time limit or a time frame like I am. Once I got my airbrush working, however, I actually started getting into a rhythm though, started to calm down and settle into the project. laying down base coats and letting them dry as I paint the next mini. Batch painting like this is a really good and efficient way to paint loads of minis rapidly. If you're looking to batch paint like this, I recommend painting 5 to 8 minis. That way, when you get back to your first mini, it'll be dry and ready for the next stage. This conveyor belt way of painting is a brilliant way to get minis on the table that are fully painted, or even just to get through your pile of shame. Get all the base coats done, all the metal, cloth, flesh, everything all coated and ready to go. But at this point I'm running way behind. I wanted to give roughly about half an hour to each section, so half an hour of base coating, half an hour for shading, half an hour for the airbrush, but I seem to fall further and further behind. The washes I kept nice and simple. Brown wash for bone, any wood, leather or anything like that. Black for the metallics, just going with the corresponding colours. So any blue material or yellow material for the jackets or overcoats. I just used the corresponding colours for those. It was also at this time I did a black wash over the bases, because all I did was base coat the texture. You can see in the cracks of the texture and where the primer was still, so I put a thick layer of black wash over all the base coats. While doing the washes, I wanted to do a little bit more for the face. So what I did is I got some white paint and just did all the teeth quickly, and then put just a flesh wash over the top, just so it gives a little bit more definition. But it was the eyes that I wanted to do something with. I wanted like an OSL effect, obviously being Nurgle. I didn't have time to do a proper OSL, so what I did is I used a wash like contrast paint. Just got a little dab, dropped it into the socket, which worked really well. The raised areas of the pupils and such were lighter, and the recesses of the eye sockets were darker. Once I'd finished the washes on the minis, it was at this point I realised that I was not going to hit my half an hour per mini goal. I had barely any time for the rest of the minis. I got through 2 minis on the dry brush stage when my 5-hour timer expired. I'd failed. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little gutted, but because I know I'm a slow painter, I kind of saw this coming. Not to worry, I wanted to finish these guys up, so I gave myself an extra hour. Could I do it in 6 hours? I thought, what could I do to speed this up? I've got 1 hour left on my now 6 hours to get this done. They're base coated, they're washed. I thought, if I get a light bone colour and just dry brush all of them and then rewash anything that needs rewashing, let's try that. So that's what I went for. I went ham on them with my dry brush, even the bases with the same colour, get it all done. So once all the dry brushing was done, I got the red wash from Citadel and I just went around all of the growths and pustules and stuff around the Poxwalker's skin, and just went around those with a fine brush to accentuate those raw areas where growths are growing, just to make those areas look really raw. Once the dry brushing was done and I'd fixed the bases, that was pretty much it. I had nothing else to do apart from a little dot of white in each of the pupils on the eyes, just to accentuate that OSL effect a little bit more. Finally, I added some blood for the blood god, partly to cover up some mistakes, just to give them that in-battle feel. Covered in blood, ploughing their way through with toothed claw and improvised weapons through the enemy. The Poxwalkers were now ready for the table. So did I manage to paint a Mini start to finish in half an hour? No. On that part I failed, but failing doesn't mean failure. I learned a lot from pushing myself out of my comfort zone, trying new styles that I'm not 100% with, and almost giving myself stress-induced night terrors. I really wasn't happy with how these guys looked right until the bitter end. I thought they were rushed messes. They had rushed base coats, blotchy shading, and really rough dry brushing. But once I got to the end, I was actually really surprised. They didn't look half bad. Is this my best painting? Hell no. But am I happy with what I've accomplished in the time frame I gave myself? Hell yes. It made me realise and understand that speed painting isn't about getting the very best out of your paintbrush. It's about getting a good standard on our toy soldiers so we can play the game that we love. For some mini painters, it is about getting the best results out of every mini they paint, the best blends, the smoothest transitions, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a big part of me that also enjoys getting the best out of every single miniature, being proud to show what you can do. All I'm saying is, if you are that person, speed painting might not be the best idea, unless you like anxiety and stress. It taught me that not every mini I paint needs to be maximum effort. While speed painting, not every brushstroke needs to be on point and precise. As long as you guys are having fun, enjoying the hobby that we all love and share. Looking back at what I had actually achieved, I would recommend to anyone that feels the same way about starting something new, no matter how big or small, to at least give it a go. You'll never regret trying something new, no matter how anxious it makes you feel when you start it. But you just might regret it if you don't give it a go later down the road. Now, if I went over my half-hour limit, I bet you're thinking, how long did it actually take me to paint these 10 minis? I finally finished all the Poxwalkers in 6 hours, 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And after some quick maths, that is 36 minutes and 42 seconds per mini. When I first started this challenge, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to complete it. But in the grand scheme of things, to go over my half an hour time limit by less than 7 minutes per mini is astounding. And I'm really proud of what I managed to actually achieve in that time. So like I said earlier in this video, don't be afraid to try it. Just give it a go and you might just be surprised with what you guys can achieve. Well, that is it for another video at Burn Aquila Painting. I hope you all enjoyed it and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, a challenge for you guys and girls. Can you beat my time of 36 minutes and 24 seconds? Give it a go, see how fast you can paint a Poxwalker, or any mini in fact. Post it on Instagram, tag me in at Burn Aquila Painting and use the hashtag Burn Aquila Speed Painting. And as always, remember to tap that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content from me at Burn Aquila Painting. Don't forget to smash that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And as always, see you in the next video. Peace!